What's good, everyone? It is your boy, Goku Black What Ifs or Blackbeard What Ifs, whatever y'all want to call me. Your boy is back at it again. Sorry, I know I've been gone for a few months. I do apologize for that, my guys, but a lot of stuff has been happening, school-wise and everything. Plus, I got summer school. Haha, very funny, I know. But I'm turning my life around, so had to get back on the grind with these videos. Trying to get paid by YouTube, hopefully. But I mean, shit, I don't know. Whatever happens, happens. So I wanted to come in with part 5 of What If Deku Was Carnage. So, oh, by the way, I want you guys to tell me something before we start. My bad. Should I make like a Discord server or like should I make like a Discord server for us to use so you guys could give me ideas and stuff? If so, let me know, and shit, I'll get started on it, and I might let y'all know about it. I might put the link to it in like the description or in the comments. Just letting y'all know now. But yeah, so let's get into this video. So where we started off, or where we left off, was after the Hosu incident with a lot, and I do mean a lot of casualties and a lot of wounded people. So if I remember correctly, from the last time I saw this, Endeavor got a few scars on her. She got some major wounds on her. She in critical condition. Izumi, she's also not much to say about her. Katsumi, or no, not, I think it was Katsumi. Yeah, I think it was her. I think she might have lost one of her limbs, one of the two. Her, Izumi, lost one of their arms, I think. Can't fully remember. I'll have to look back at it in a minute, but I can't fully remember, but I'll let y'all know after. And Ida got severely wounded. But we also, a lot of damage has been dealt, and I think it's about time we head to the, if I remember correctly, it was called the training camp. Yeah, the training camp arc. So basically, after they fly off and everything, All For One would send, the little team of Deku, Stain. Shigaraki was there, but Shigaraki was just kind of watching everything. But then there was also Sami, Koda, and Tokiyami, and they were there. They were beating that ass. No, Tokiyami was there. My bad. It was Tokiyami and him and Stain. It was just the three of them, and they were beating ass. Bro, they got the beating that ass. Y'all could check out the last video if y'all want a complete reminder. But yeah, I tried to make it quick for y'all. But damn, Tokiyami got the beating that ass. He said, bitch, come here. Clocked her one good time. Got the whooping on him. Swear. Good for him. But basically, as they're flying off, Stain would get a call from All For One saying that we know their next move and we know their next location. And it may be coming to the final battle very soon. As Deku would kind of get a grin on his face as he's like, oh, it's all ending, huh, master? And he's like, yes. But first, what I want you to do, I wish for you to come back here. There is something I wish to give you before we have this final battle. It's something I want to give you and Shigaraki. As both of them Shigaraki on the other end would say yes, and Deku flying, he would also say yes. So they fly back to the base where Kurogiri would open up a portal to All For One, and both of them would step through. And Deku is, wearing his normal attire. He's wearing the tuxedo and stuff. He's looking kind of fly. As All For One would say, I want both of you to come here. And they walk forward before kneeling down, and they're like, well, Deku says master, but Shigaraki says father. As both of them would say, or as All For One would say, stand up, please. You don't have to talk to me like I'm above you guys anymore. Especially you, Izuku. You're definitely on my level, if not stronger than me. Which is why I want to gift this to you. As he would hold his hand over Deku's head, and a red aura would come from All For One's hand going to Deku's head. As Deku would start convulsing in pain, he would start screaming out, but once it was over, his eyes went from the normal Izuku green to just a burning blood red. As he would stand up and look at All For One, he's like, what did you give me, sir? As All For One would grin with him, like just a pure maniacal grin, and he would say, well, you're the new All For One. As he's like, what? He's like, I want to pass it on to you. I know you'll be able to watch this world and make sure that it gets what it deserves. You can cleanse this world from its pain. And knowing how, your little friend is with you, or a part of you, I know that you guys can definitely take over. As for Shigaraki, using the last of my power, I want to give this to you. And Shigaraki would, All For One would place his hands over Shigaraki, and using the last of his power, he would deliver a quirk to her. And her hair would turn white as her eyes, kind of glow a little, glow red. As she would stand up and she's like, what did you give me, sir? Or father? As he grins again and he's like, well, I gave you this quirk called Unlocked Potential. This quirk allows you to unlock your full potential at the cost of you needing to basically be in kind of a coma-like state for a few weeks. I hope that's all right with you, Shigaraki. As she would say, yes. I'll go get prepared now. As she would walk off with Dr. Ujiko. And Deku would open a portal using All For One and walk through. And as the portal opens in the bar, they all realize it's the same type of black goop portal that All For One has. So everyone's kind of concerned at first because they're like, what happened? Why is All For One coming through? Once they see Deku walk through, Kurogiri would look at him and just say, he gave it to you, didn't he? And Deku would just smile and say, yes, he did. He passed along a powerful quirk. One not of corruption, but one meant to give order. And that's what I'll do. I will change this world for the better. For all men and women alike, I will make this world a wonderful paradise for everyone. With this newfound power, I will reign above all as the new All For One. And right as he says that, everyone would just look at him and smile as they're like, well, we have no other choice but to follow our new leader. As they would all kneel down onto one knee. As he says, wait, I'm not leader yet. All For One still has enough energy, and he wants to give that last of his energy out. Give it all up. The last embers. He wants to burn them out while he's fighting All Might in their final battle. But what he doesn't know is that during this final battle, it won't be a final battle between just him and All Might. It'll be a final battle for heroes and villains alike. I will end this battle once and for all. Just us going up against just them. And right after Deku says that, they would get a knock on the door. And Deku would grin. He's like, those must be the new members. And right as he would say that, the door would open, showing a female Dabi and a female Compress coming through. And he would say, I see. So you brought a pyromaniac and a magician to us. And right as Dabi raises her hand towards his face to shoot fire, Stain would have a blade to her neck and would just say, you so much as light your hand up even a little. If I see so much as an ember come off of your hand, your head will be on this floor. And she's just staring daggers at Dabi. To which Deku would smile a little and he'd be like, calm down, Stain, calm down. Besides, you know, with my new quirk, she wouldn't even be able to kill me with all of them. I'd love to see her try. I could use a new fire quirk. So Deku would kind of grin looking at her and he's like, go on then, try it. I want to see you try. Let's see how your story ends. As she just gets shivers down her spine. And she's just like, never mind, screw off. And she just walks off to a room and shuts the door. And for the most part, Deku would just kind of chuckle to himself. And he's like, you'll get along with us just nicely here, Compress. Can't say the same for your friend, but we'll see. Everyone has a reason for being the way they are, so you never know. As All For One would send, our TV would come down from the ceiling, and it would turn on, and All For One's voice would be heard, and he's like, Izuku, we have a mission for you. So he's like, all right, what is it? I get to test out my new abilities. As he's like, all right, well, you and Koda both need to go to this coordinate. And we need you to pick up a little girl and kill a man. And Deku would just smile. He's like, who is this man? As All For One would be like, his name is Kai Shisaki, otherwise known as the notorious villain Overhaul. As Deku would smile with just this sinister grin as he's like, oh, Overhaul, huh? Okay. Luckily, I get to test out everything I have on him. And then maybe after, just kill him. As Deku would just walk out the door. And as he walks out, Koda would rush out behind him. And he would look at Koda and be like, are you ready, kid? As Koda would smile and say, yes, father. And Koda would take off dashing. Now, just to let you guys know ahead of time, Koda's quirk has evolved a little bit more because it went from a little bit of water to now he can shoot out a lot of water, a lot like a waterbender, to now this dude is like Greninja. He got ice. He got a hella ice. He will fuck you up. I've never been so scared of a kid making him before. I'm not huge into Pokemon, so I can't remember names. Take the strongest ice Pokemon and then fuse him with Aokiji from One Piece. That's how strong their powers are. It's like some instantaneous boop, you're gone type shit. Like, you're done. But most of the time, he doesn't choose to freeze you instantly. He'll make it slow or something. But yeah, that's basically his quirk. It's evolved into a new quirk called Frostbite. Yeah, I don't even gotta explain it, because for my One Piece fans, y'all know how overpowered that is. For my Pokemon fans, y'all know how overpowered that is. And for any other nigga that has seen any other person on this planet that has seen any show with an ice-related user or someone with ice powers, you know how overpowered they can get. It's no joke. You're dealing with some menace energy right there. But back to the story. Just wanted to let y'all know. Right as Koda would take off, pulling up his hood and pulling up a mask covering, his face, Deku would jump into the air, transforming into Carnage, as he would just start using tendrils to climb from building to building and just kind of pull a Spider-Man and just web swing from building to building. And every now and then he'll touch a power line and absorb the electricity from it, for reasons you'll know in a minute. But Deku would get to a certain part of the town, and he's like, all right, Koda, I'll go in and I'll deal with this, but what I want you to do is stay out here and make sure no police or heroes get in here to stop me. All right? As he would say, yes, father. And he would form an ice sword from his hands and cover his body in this type of armor made of ice, because he's wearing an all black ninja suit. So he would cover his body in this ice type of armor with the sword, or with a giant, like with a great sword. And he would say, I will not let them pass, no matter what. As Deku would just pat him on the head, and he's like, that's my boy. Now, let's finish this. As Deku would jump into the air, as electricity would start radiating from his body, and then he would just let out a roar as the electricity would go outward, letting off an EMP, shutting off all communications for, like, we're just gonna say 7 miles in every direction. In 7 miles in every direction, all communication and power was lost. No one would know anything. Everyone was blind for right now, basically. So, while that happened, Deku dropped down to the ground, started rushing towards the first 2 guards at the headquarters of Overhaul's base, and he would rip them to shreds. He would send his tendrils, and one tendril would grab a guy by his arm, the other one would grab him by his leg, as he would rip the dude in half, running clean past, stabbing the other guard in his throat, and ripping out his spine from his throat. As then afterwards, he would break the door down and just go on a massacre through the first floor. All of the goons were just slaughtered. He did not care. He did not rest, because as he was going in, All For One sent him a little message through an earpiece telling him that they did experiments on this girl. They psychologically scarred this child, and that is what pissed off Deku. So he went ballistic and started ripping everyone in there to shreds. He did not let a single soul live in that building. But while he was there, he also made sure to take multiple different quirks, like chronostasis and his quirk of slowing down people, And, well, 2 more that I'll let you know about in a minute. So, Deku would rip off a bookshelf and see a little passage down to a basement of some sorts, where he would rush down there and just start completely ripping people to shreds. He did not let a single soul, like, I'm repeating myself, I know, but he didn't let anyone live. He killed everyone, and he absorbed a lot of quirks, or he gained a lot of quirks from these people, because he would take their quirk, then kill them for, the people he liked. So he ended up finding chronostasis and taking his quirk before ripping off his head and then chucking it through a wall at at Overhaul, hitting Overhaul on the side of the head as he would look down and see the head of his friend. And Overhaul would just look terrified as he would look through the hole and see this red beast just staring at him. No idea why, but it's there and it looks hungry. So it would start sprinting full throttle towards Overhaul. As Overhaul goes to touch the ground, a projectile would go straight through his hand, causing Overhaul to scream before putting his other hand on the ground and sending a wave of spikes towards this beast. But the beast managed to evade almost all the spikes despite being in this narrow passageway. Its movements were so unhuman, it was almost like it was made of a liquid. The way it just kind of slithered around without any problem whatsoever. It made it through without a single issue. And once it got to Overhaul, it grabbed him by his head as he could feel his quirk not working anymore. As he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Let go of me." As the beast would just look at him and he would say, "I'm taking something that I could use, and I'm taking someone else I could use." As Overhaul would look over towards a iron padded door and he would say, "No, I won't let you take her." And as Overhaul would grab a scalpel and shove it into the chest of this monster, the beast would just look at him as the knife is just stuck there. He can't move, can't push it further, it's just stuck. But once his Overhaul feels his quirk being gone, he would let go of him. He would let go of Overhaul, but then Overhaul would get stuck to the wall using projectiles. Like, the red beast would shoot projectiles into the arms and legs of Overhaul and then walk to the door, rip it off before transforming back to what looks like a human. And then this man would kneel down and he would be like, "Hey kid, if you had the chance to get revenge on this bad man, would you take it? Do you want him to not hurt anyone else?" As this kid would look up towards Deku and be happy that she was saved, but she would be angry at the man that did it. She had this rage in her, not fear, it was just rage. She wanted to take something from him. As he would say, "Well, how about we trick? Here, kid, take this." As Deku would put his hands on her head, and a red light would come from his hand as she would open her eyes and feel stronger. She would touch her arm and it would disappear, but then it would reappear without any scars. And she would keep doing it to her legs and even her body, getting rid of all the scars on her. Just feeling so happy about it. But then she would get up and start walking over to the man. As the man would plead, he would like push himself back up against the wall, trying to escape. He's doing everything while he's pleading with the girl. But the girl would grab his shirt. No, the girl would grab his just body. And then she would look him in the eyes with tears running down her face. She would say, "It's about time you got what you deserved." As the man would just disappear with a blood splatter. But then smoke would surround the girl as she's fine. Her horn actually turned into two. She has two horns on her head and these beautiful yellow eyes, almost like a hawk. And she would actually end up becoming a little bit older. Yes, I know that's not how Overall's quirk works. I don't care. I want her to be older. Not as old as Deku, but be older. So she's like a teenager. Well, no, she's like a little under a teenager. She's like same age as Koda. You'll see what I'm going with this. But basically, she'll look around 10-ish. She would look towards Deku. And she would put on the crow mask and look at him. And she would say, "Thank you. Thank you for this." As Deku would say, "Oh, it's no problem at all, sweetie. Now, come on, kid. Let's get out of here." And she would grab his hand and walk with him out of the building. And once they make it out, all you can see is ice spikes with people impaled on them, cars impaled by spikes, cars that are on fire, and just a lot of carnage going on. As Deku would grin and he would say, "Hey, Koda, looks like you had fun." As Koda would drop down from the roof of the building right next to him and he would say, "Yeah, I did, father." As Deku would look at him and he would say, "Hey, Koda, this here, this is your friend. This is your new partner in crime. Her name is Eri." And that's where I'm going to leave this part off for now, guys. I wanted to make this more of a suspenseful video, and luckily my voice has been getting a little deeper so I can, make these videos sound a little bit creepier. I don't know if it did that for y'all, but I mean, hey, I tried. I'll give it a shot another time. But, hey, I gave it a shot, guys. I'm probably going to make another video after this relatively soon, so there's that. So, just wanted to let you guys know. This may be like the last few parts. Just letting y'all know. May make it the last few parts. So yeah. Sorry, but wanted to make these the last few bits of the story before we get to the finale. So we have like 1 or 2 more episodes before we reach the finale. Alright, guys? Other than that, this is Blackbeard What Ifs, Goku Black What Ifs, signing off. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Bye.